Now it was empty. Everyone had taken shelter. Everyone except Pippa. The coarse cloth of her tunic clung to her skin, and her bare legs and feet were muddy. But on she went, past the mud-bricked inn that housed travellers and the olive trees soaking up the rain, chasing the retreating clouds, until her foot struck a stone and she tumbled forward, landing in a puddle with a splash. She rolled out of the puddle and sat, hugging her legs to her chest. One knee was scraped and both were covered in muck. Her big toe, which she'd stubbed, throbbed. What was I thinking? She was just a foundling, without parents or a home. Foundlings didn't glimpse the steeds of the gods. That was for the likes of the all-seeing oracle and other priests and priestesses and... song-stitchers? A staff appeared in front of Pippa's face. Covered in intricate carvings, it was the staff of a rhapsode, a song-stitcher, reciter of myths and teller of tales. Pippa knew, for she had spent her earliest years in the care of one, an old woman named Zosime. Zosime had found her when she was a baby and cared for her until she was old enough to look out for herself. But whereas Zosime had been well kept, this song-stitcher was the opposite. Her face was thin, her weathered skin stretched over bone, and her eyes were sunken and dark, like the pits of 2 olives. She wore a long woolen himation, which wound across her hunched shoulders and up over her head like a hood, shielding her from the rain. Across her back was slung a lyre, some of its strings broken and bobbing in the wind like unruly strands of hair. Even her staff was chipped, the symbols hard to make out. The staff's symbols helped a song-stitcher remember her tales, as did tapping the staff on the ground. But Pippa hadn't heard this song-stitcher tapping. Where had she come from?
"Hurt, child?"
The woman extended her staff.
"Here."
Pippa gripped it and rose to her feet, noticing one symbol in particular carved on the top. 3 feathers woven together. "What does it mean?" asked Pippa.
"Ah," said the woman, eyebrows rising. "There are more stories coming soon for that one."
Pippa was puzzled. Weren't a song-stitcher's tales old ones, the stories of gods and goddesses? Unless this woman had seen something in the storm too. Had she seen Nicomedes? The song-stitcher's dark eyes clouded over as she tapped her staff in time to her words.
"Aloft, wings beat and feathers fly. Hark the horses of the sky."
So she had seen something. Or was she speaking in riddles, as song-stitchers tended to do? "What tale is that from?" asked Pippa. "Tell me more."
I wish, but that one is not a tale for telling, not yet. I can tell you another, a tale of great intrigue."
Although she was tempted, Pippa shook her head. "I must go back," said Pippa. Really, she'd already been gone too long. The mare and her colt didn't like storms, and she didn't want to leave them untended. Not to mention, Alcaeus would be furious. Although he rarely whipped the horses, he did not shy from whipping her. The song-stitcher's hand shot out and gripped Pippa's arm, her fingers curling around Pippa's wrist like snakes.
"No!"
Her voice crackled.
"There are so many tales I know. I know the truths of the gods. I've seen things no one should."
Pippa had heard of song-stitchers like this, those who had gone mad from their stories. Often they rocked alone in corners of the market, muttering and murmuring to no one. Some said that the gods had disgraced them, or that their stories were too accurate for the gods' liking, and so they had been punished. The song-stitcher went on.
"Share your food with me, then? But you don't have any, do you? Only fate kept you alive. But for a purpose? We'll see."